Now we've got another special session celebrating some of the UK's most outstanding black entrepreneurs. We're calling it Three the Hard Way. So over the next hour, 45 minutes, we've got the privilege of hearing directly from these individuals who've made remarkable contributions to their respective industries. They'll share their stories, the challenges, the highs and the lows, and the insights that have fueled their success. It's going to be a series of fireside chats. Again, no fire, but we'll be doing some chatting. Okay? we will hear, first of all, from Byron Dixon, OBE, the founder and CEO of Microfresh. Oh, yeah, some of you know Byron. He's been here before. Inspirational guy. We're going to dive into his story, learn from his experiences. Business growth. Microfresh is now in the footwear, textile and hospitality, healthcare, sportswear and children's sections globally. Some great partners, and it's currently the powerless business of the year 2024. We'll hear from Kevin Tobin, CBE. Kevin is a logistics and supply chain expert who's built a successful business in a sector that's often overlooked, actually, when it comes to black entrepreneurship. We'll hear about his journey. Then we'll hear from Valerie Brandis, the founder and founder of the award-winning Jacaranda books. Valerie is a trailblazer in the publishing industry, and her company has become a leading light in championing diverse voices and narratives. Okay, so we're going to welcome Byron Dixon, but first of all, let's have a quick clip and see him in action. Byron Dixon. Run VT, please.
Yeah, I mean, we are a truly global business. We've got 13 offices in 9 countries, and I've just got back from the Caribbean, where we're looking to expand into the Caribbean, Central and South America. I'm a big advocate of the DBT, Department of Business and Trade. The support that they give you is superb. I think the only, room for improvement for the DBT is not enough people know about it. I do a lot of advocacy work as an export champion, but I'm amazed at how many other businesses, 5 million and below, or even 10 million and below, do not know the DBT and do not know also that they deliver the quality of service free at the point of delivery. We don't have any funding at the minute. We're all privately owned by myself, actually. But what we've seen in the UK is the attitude to funding is almost like a Dragon's Den scenario, where this poor little entrepreneur, how have you managed to get this far without this multimillionaire's money that they don't know what to do with? And that's something that I think needs to be addressed. It's just the way of the world. And now that, we have, the world is a much smaller place. The competition doesn't just come from up the road, it comes from overseas.
Now, Byron, do you want to take a mic there? When you looked around and saw yourself on camera saying those things, profound things indeed, you appeared surprised. In fact, you chuckled. Why?
Firstly, is this mic on, brother?
Yeah.
Firstly, I've got to say, you know what? I've never seen that video. Carlton, that is amazing. I think you deserve a round of applause. Carlton and his team. So, I mean, the thing is, I'm like a lot of people in the audience, a lot of black entrepreneurs. We're from very normal, basic backgrounds, which I'll come to in a minute.
Yeah.
So most days it is a surprise. Sometimes I wake up and I actually can't believe it. And a very short story, I know we're short on time.
Yeah.
I was at an EY event last week, and I explained to somebody what I did, and she said, "Oh, is that like Microfresh?"
My. And how did you respond?
And I said, "It is Microfresh." And she's like, "Are you Mr. Microfresh?" Like, I cannot believe I've met Mr. Microfresh.
Oh, wow.
So every day's a surprise, and I love it.
Brilliant. Okay, so you say you come from a very normal background, and this is an area that we don't necessarily connect with black entrepreneurs. So how did that happen? Tell us a bit about the background and the path to this.
Yeah, okay, again, I'll keep it short. So my parents came from Jamaica. I was born in West London. I'm a Chelsea fan, which might get a few boos.
Well, normally I don't really spend time with breathing the same air as Chelsea fans. But given Cole Palmer onto Ollie Watkins last night,
That's right. So my dad went back to Jamaica. So my mum's brother lived in Leicester. And she moved to Leicester she now had 3 more children. So she had 5 kids, grew up on a council estate in Leicester. Her brother actually was the friend of Simon Woolley's parents.
Oh, wow.
So my cousin Simon Woolley were very good friends. Yeah, Lord Woolley. So, going back to what Andy was saying about STEM, I can't do a lot of things. I can't tie my shoelaces, I can't blow my nose, but I can do chemistry.
Wow.
And I could do that from a child. So as time went on, I developed a chemical. I did A-level, couldn't afford to go to university. I did Open University, and I started my own chemical business. And that's Microfresh.
Okay, I like this. Yeah, go on. Quick, how? How did you start this chemical business? What happened?
So I left school. I applied to Zeneca when it was a proper chemical company before AstraZeneca. Their nearest division was in Loughborough.
People are thinking that he's throwing shade at AstraZeneca.
That's right.
Go on.
That's right.
Go on.
Their nearest division was in Loughborough, and that was division that did leather chemicals. So I went there. I worked there for 10 years. I then got headhunted by Echo because I worked with shoe factories and tanneries. Yeah. Worked for Echo for 4 years. I didn't realise the job was in Denmark. So, I lived in Denmark for 4 years. I learnt the language.
You speak Danish?
I speak Danish. Taler du dansk?
Copenhagen. Carry on.
Yeah, but I came back. 'Cause in Denmark, you pay a lot of tax, a huge amount of tax, and it's very dull.
But the service is a high level, very high level.
Very high level. There's no crime, streets are clean, etc., all that kind of stuff. But, I wanted to get back to dirty streets and crime. So I came back to England, and I started my own business. And then I remember that Echo's shoes used to go mouldy when they were made in Asia and shipped to the West. So I thought, if I can make a product that stops shoes going mouldy, maybe I've got a business. And that turned out to be Microfresh. And then we found out it does lots of other sexy stuff like stops bacteria, stops odours, and even stops mould now on walls. So we're working with social housing.
Oh, brilliant, this is fantastic. Look, we've only got Byron for a few minutes, so if you have a question for him, do send it in the usual way, and I'll put it to him. You say you just started your own company because you're working for Echo, and then obviously you must have made a decision like, my idea is so powerful, I simply have to leave these people and set up. Explain how that happened.
Yeah, well, the owner of Echo was a guy called Carl Toosby, and he was a fantastic guy. And when I said to him, I need to go back to England, I don't want to pay the tax, he said to me, you should start your own business. Because he said, when you came here from Zeneca, you were like a child. But you've matured in Denmark, business-wise. I'm still a child mentally. But he said, you need to go back, start your own business. You've now got a global network from working with Echo. Yeah. So whatever you do, just have your own business, he said, because you'll never be free. And that was from the owner of Echo.
Wow, okay.
So it's about the freedom.
Okay, fantastic. And then, okay, so you've got the idea, you've got this inspirational words buzzing in your head. You've come back to Britain, high tax Britain, but you think it's low tax, which is fantastic.
Everything's relative.
Well, yeah. So next step, the money. Yeah. How did you get started?
Sorry.
But he's laughing.
Through sacrifice. It's all my own money.
Right.
So we don't have investors. I went through a lot of hard times. We had zero turnover for 5 years because we went to retailers and said, with our brand, your products will last longer, you can wash at lower temperature. And they said, we'll sell less.
Right, okay.
So for 5 years, we had zero turnover. Sustainability became a thing. And they said, hey, where's that cheeky smiling guy with his product? They said another word, which I won't say in this room.
Yeah.
And that was the start of Microfresh.
Wow. So in terms of factories, in terms of manufacturing, supply chain, all of that, how does that work?
Yeah, so I used to make it myself, physically, mix it, bottle it, label it, put it on a lorry. We grew the business. Then we had our own factory. Then as we grew, we outsourced it. So it's still made in the UK. We don't make it ourselves, but it's all self-funding, and we've grown organically.
And when you say we, how many of you are there?
Sorry, when I say we, in the UK there's just 12 of us, but worldwide we've got 200.
Fantastic. Brilliant, Byron.
I'm hoping for one more that's in this room.
A couple of questions are coming in. This one, first of all, it says, okay, how did you manage to protect the patent of the product and also ownership structure as you scaled?
Really good question, because you can't patent a formula. And lawyers will tell you that you can, but again, one of my learned friends lives very close to Coca-Cola. Coca-Cola says you can't patent a formula, so you push the trademark. So we're pushing to become the Gore-Tex of the freshness industry. So we don't talk about anything technical, don't talk about antimicrobial, antibacterial. We just say that name means it's not going to smell. Yeah. Like when you see Gore-Tex, you know you're not going to get wet. You don't think about how it works or what it looks like. You wouldn't even know if it wasn't there, but that name is synonymous, and that's what we've done. We've just got the US trademark, by the way. That took 6 years and a huge amount of money, so I'm hoping to push our brand in the US.
Brilliant stuff. Okay, how has DBT, so the Department of Business and Trade, helped you grow your exports? So how someone says, how have they? As if that's a fait accompli. Have they?
They have.
Okay.
In some areas. So because I came from Echo, I had the experience of working and living abroad and international trade. But in some tricky countries, like we're in Pakistan, we're in Vietnam, we're in China, we're in India, they've been really supportive. And what
You call them tricky. Why are they tricky?
there's a lot of cultural barriers. Asia has some very different cultural barriers.
Yep.
Not insurmountable, but if you don't know about them before you go, you can make some huge mistakes. And DBT were really helpful and supportive of us with that. That's DIT at the time.
What kind of mistakes could you have made, and how were they swerved thanks to DBT?
Getting paid was one.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's a big one. Language, cultural barriers. So there's some things that you say. In some countries, you don't look people in the eye.
Yeah.
In other countries, if you don't, they don't trust you.
Yeah.
Some countries, you go in first. In other countries, you go in second into a room. Some countries, like Japan, depends on what colour suit you wear.
Yeah.
The darker the suit, the more senior you are. So if you go into a meeting in a very dark navy suit, that assumes that you think you're better than them.
Wow.
So yeah.
And DBT told you that?
DBT told us that.
DBT. DBT, come on. Okay, so Byron, where are you at this stage, and what's the vision for the next period?
Yeah, so the brand's grown. We're quite well known now in kids' footwear, baby and nursery bedding. We're in John Lewis. And where we're going now, we've got 3 big goals for the next 3 years. One is the US, because we've already got traction now in the US. We've got the trademark and we've got the connections over there.
Oh, yes.
The other one, the other one is Home Fresh, which is the one for construction. We developed it 10 years ago. We brought it back out 2 years ago because of this poor Awabishak that died in Rochdale from mould.
Yes.
Yeah, so we're now working with housing associations and councils, and it's a preventative. So that's the 2 big areas that we're growing.
Yeah. And you say it's still wholly owned by you and your fellow
Wholly
investors,
owned by
is
me.
that right? By you, personally?
By me personally. The other area we're growing is that any time now a car brand is about to launch Microfresh interiors. I can't say which, but what we believe is that once it's launched, the other car companies will just follow suit, like SatNav and, you know.
Are you not tempted to take the company public, or are you some way away from that?
No, do you know what? I do it for the freedom. And when I meet people sometimes, they say, how long's your business been going? And when I say 15 years, they say, really? You look so full of energy. And that's because I love what I do, and I do it for the freedom. If I don't like it, I wouldn't do it, and I'd sell it or IPO it.
Brilliant, thanks. I know I've got to let you go very shortly. The number of questions flowing in have paused. So we could take a live question, I think, if there is one here. Could we take a live question? Oh, it's Andy. Okay. Can we get a microphone to Andy?
I don't mind. Question, 15 years.
Yeah.
What's been the most critical piece for you on the journey?
Most what, sorry?
Critical.
What's been most critical when it comes to decisions? Especially the first 5 years you had 0 revenue.
Yeah.
Obviously, we shouldn't quit or whatever, but like, what made you continue going?
Yeah.
And then after that, what was the critical piece of business that you said, okay, this is now that we have to keep pushing?
Yeah, okay, 2 great questions. The first thing that kept me going was the thought of having to get a job. I'd work for somebody and have somebody say, do this, do that. That kept me going. I thought I'd rather be skint. And then a turning point came when Next back-to-school shoes sales were down one year. That was 2010. So from the top, Simon Wolfson went to his footwear team and said, you need something innovative to get our market share back. And they thought, remember that guy that came in with that product? So Next ran a trial in 2011 on girls back to school. It was so successful. Their sales went up 30%. They ran it the year after, boys and girls, and then now we're on 65% of back-to-school shoes in the UK.
Brilliant. Byron, thank you very much indeed.